Barry Amante was a man of routine. Every morning, he woke up at dawn, brewed a pot of strong coffee, and headed to his small auto repair shop in Davao City, Philippines. As a car mechanic, Barry worked long hours to provide for his family. Money was tight, but he took pride in his work and in raising his 8-year-old son, Ken, to be responsible and kind. Ken was a bright, thoughtful boy who walked to school every day and always came home on time. Barry made sure to give his son a small allowance, not just for treats or toys, but to teach him the value of money. "Nothing in life is free," Barry often reminded Ken. "You have to work hard for what you want." But lately, something about Ken's behavior had been bothering Barry. The boy had started coming home later than usual, often just before sunset. At first, Barry assumed Ken was playing with friends or staying after school for activities. But when Ken began returning home without a peso left in his pocket, Barry grew suspicious. Where was the money going? And why was Ken being so secretive? One evening, as Barry sat at the kitchen table, he noticed Ken slipping quietly through the front door. The boy's face was flushed, and his school backpack looked heavier than usual. Barry called out to him, but Ken mumbled something about homework and hurried to his room. Barry's concern deepened. He decided it was time to find out what was really going on. The next day, Barry left the garage door slightly ajar while he worked, keeping an eye on the driveway. Right on time, Ken walked through the gate, his backpack slung over his shoulders. Barry watched as the boy disappeared into the house, but just 10 minutes later, Ken reappeared, heading back down the road. Barry noticed something odd. The backpack, which had looked empty earlier, now seemed full. Curiosity gnawed at him. Barry quietly followed his son, keeping a safe distance. Ken walked past the corner cafes and into a rougher part of town, where pawn shops and liquor stores lined the streets. Barry's heart raced. What was his son doing in a place like this? His mind raced with worst-case scenarios. Was Ken involved in something dangerous? Was he being bullied or pressured into doing something he shouldn't? Finally, Ken turned into a side road. Barry peered around the corner and froze. His son was crouched in the middle of the empty road, pulling something out of his backpack. Suddenly, 3 scrawny dogs emerged from the bushes, tails wagging timidly. Barry watched in stunned silence as Ken laid out disposable plates and cans of dog food, feeding the strays with gentle care. Barry's initial shock gave way to a mix of emotions. He had been prepared for the worst, but this was something he never expected. As he approached, Ken looked up, his face a mix of guilt and defiance. "I'm sorry, Dad," the boy said softly. "I've been using my allowance to buy food for them. They're so hungry, and no one else is helping." Barry knelt beside his son, his heart swelling with pride. The dogs, Brownie, Whitey, and Blackie, as Ken called them, were clearly malnourished, with patches of fur missing and ribs visible under their skin. Barry realized he had misjudged the situation entirely. His son, just 8 years old, had been spending his pocket money to feed stray dogs. Barry's voice was thick with emotion as he spoke. "I'm proud of you, Ken, but we need to do this the right way." He explained his concerns about diseases like mange and rabies and made a deal with his son. Barry would buy the dog food, but Ken had to get a rabies vaccine and carry disinfectant in his backpack. That evening, Barry couldn't stop thinking about what he had witnessed. His son's selflessness had touched him deeply, and he felt compelled to share the story with others. In February 2014, Barry snapped a photo of Ken feeding the strays and posted it on Reddit. The image quickly went viral, capturing the hearts of animal lovers around the world. People were moved by Ken's kindness and determination to help animals in need. The response was overwhelming. Donations poured in from across the globe, and Barry helped Ken set up a website called Happy Animals Club. Their small act of kindness grew into something much bigger. With the support of the online community, Ken and Barry leased a 1,000 square meter lot, built enclosures, and officially opened a no-kill animal shelter. Ken's dream was coming true. The shelter not only provided a safe haven for stray dogs, but also began rescuing cats and kittens from the streets. Ken kept a detailed list of animals up for adoption on the website, ensuring each one found a loving home. Volunteers joined the effort, and the shelter became a beacon of hope for neglected animals in Davao City. Barry watched in awe as his son's passion inspired others. Ken's determination and compassion were contagious. and the Happy Animals Club quickly gained momentum. The shelter's website became a hub for updates, stories, and photos of the rescued animals. Ken's dream of opening an animal shelter, which Barry had once thought would take 20 years to achieve, was now a reality. Years later, Ken is now a teenager, but his passion for helping animals has only grown. The Happy Animals Club continues to thrive thanks to the dedication of Ken, his family, and the global community that rallied behind them. What started as a small act of compassion has become a lasting legacy, proving that even the youngest among us can make a difference. Barry often reflects on the day he followed his son and discovered the truth. "I thought I was teaching Ken about responsibility," he says with a smile. "But in the end, he taught me about compassion and the power of kindness." The story of Ken and the Happy Animals Club is a reminder that small acts of love can ripple out and change the world. It's a testament to the impact one person, no matter how young, can have when they follow their heart.